Hey girl, hey, welcome to Tia's Table, where we talk about food, fitness, wellness for women, and whatever we feel is worth discussing. Thank you for joining me at my table. Sit back, grab a snack, and let's have some girl talk. Hey girl, hey! What do we think about the new intro, the new music? I'm probably going to keep tweaking it as I prepare for season 6, but we love a little new around here. How was your week? How was Mother's Day? I was reading a lot on Threads, and Mother's Day had a lot of mixed reviews. Hopefully, next year we will have less mixed reviews and more happy, celebratory type feelings and vibes after Mother's Day. This week, I got a chance to early vote, which I'm very happy that I was able to go do that. By the time this podcast comes out, early voting in Georgia will be over, but the primary election is on May 19th. So please, if you live in the state of Georgia, get out there and exercise your right to vote. We need to make sure that, number one, we get a very strong Democratic candidate for governor. And there are a lot of other races on the ballot right now, too. And you want to make sure at the local level, you are making your voice heard so that we have all the right judges, Supreme Court judges, that you're answering all of those questions to make sure things are as we would like for them to be. Because I feel as if Georgia really does need all the help that it can get. So, girl, go out there and vote on May 19th if you don't do nothing else. Before we start talking and yapping about a few things today, let's talk about what is on my table right now. I made the most delicious salad yesterday, and I shared it on Instagram already. It's in my stories right now. OMG. Sometimes, a friend will text you a meme and it's funny. Sometimes a friend will text you something that's going on in their day and it stops you in your tracks. Sometimes a friend will send you an audio note that is full of all the best hot piping tea, and you can't help but to sit down and let that tea simmer for just a second before you respond. If you're anything like me, sometimes your friends will also send you cooking videos or recipes. That is how I came across this delicious salad that I made yesterday. It's only a few ingredients, and here they are. In the video, she uses iceberg lettuce, but I'm never gonna do that. So I used red leaf lettuce, and I bought a bag of radicchio mix that had like a bunch of things in there. Mix those greens all up together. You take a red onion, you slice it thin, you take some pepperoncinis, you chop them up, but keep the jar out on your counter because you're going to need the juice for the dressing. You get a can of chickpeas, you drain them and you rinse them, okay? You also need some mozzarella cheese, and you're going to need some salami. Chop all those things up, not the chickpeas, leave them whole. Chop up that salami, slice it, however you want to do it. Mix it all up in a bowl. Now, I started not to use the mozzarella cheese because for me, mozzarella cheese really doesn't ever add anything to a dish. I'm sorry, it falls flat for me. I added it to this salad, and I gotta admit, I feel like when you're eating it, you really don't get any of the mozzarella cheese. So if you're a person who's like, I don't want to eat dairy, or like you're not eating cheese right now, whatever, feel free to omit the mozzarella cheese because the dressing really does all the work in this salad. But you're going to mix all that stuff up. Now, for the dressing, you need red wine vinegar. You're going to need some extra virgin olive oil, but make sure you use one that is for dressing because they all have different taste. And sometimes the cooking one is a little bit too bitter. So make sure you get one that is for making salad dressing. You're going to need some oregano, salt, pepper, some garlic, some Parmesan cheese that is grated. You will also need, ground mustard. And I think that's it. You whisk that all up together. Oh, and some of the juice from the pepperoncini jar. You're going to whisk that all up. The dressing is so, 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 so good. Get it all mixed up nice and good. Dress your salad, toss, toss, toss. And when I mean to tell you, it's like eating a sub without eating a sub. It is like eating a sub without eating a sub. But it makes you tempted to want to eat a sub. I have that multi-grain bread in my house, the one that I share all the time that's got all that fiber in it. It's got all that protein in it. It is 110 slice or it's 110 calories a slice, but girls, sometimes you just gotta look past it and be thankful. I could put some of that salad between two slices of bread and really just have the time of my life. And I really might do that later on tonight before I go on my little Costco run, so I don't go into Costco hungry. But when I mean to tell you that salad is everything, that salad is everything. And it's another one that we can make and take and pack in our cute little picnic baskets when we go to the jazz festival, when we go on our little car rides, when we go to the places where we need to take food with us. Add it to your list. Now, the only thing about this one, though, is that if you make it, you probably want to be able to go ahead and eat it that day or the next day because you dress it when you make it. And I guess you don't have to. You could always like portion it out and kind of dress it as you go, which is a good idea. That's what we need to do, actually. But if you happen to be going somewhere and you have to dress it and take it, girl, just know that, you know, it's gonna get wilted if it sits for too many days. Like it's gonna lose its crunch and its crisp. Anyway, that salad was absolutely delicious. I literally stood at my counter eating it. I tried it with some crackers, and it was everything. Salad recipe did not miss. So get you some friends that send you really good, healthy recipes because they know what your goals are. I appreciate that so much. I have not forgotten about getting back to my Ina Garten journey and making her breakfast menu ideas. I have not forgotten about that. It's just that we're at the end of the school year at this point, and I'm so busy in the morning trying to get here, there, and everywhere that I really think I'm going to just put a pause right there, and we can come back to that when I have more time once school gets out, and school gets out a lot sooner than you would think it does. So give me some time and I'm going to get back to Ina. Over the summer, I also want to get back into learning how to bake. I have some sourdough starter in my refrigerator that a friend gave me. And so I really want to try my hand at making sourdough bread. I would also really like to learn how to make the perfect loaf bread because we go through bread like crazy in this house because I have children. One of them eats a sandwich every morning for breakfast, and then my husband is always making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Well, the rest of us really don't eat too much bread, but I kind of also feel like if I was making my own bread, I could even stop buying like the multigrain bread that I buy and I could just kind of learn how to make it. So let's figure that out over the summer. Is that going to be worth it for me to make it, or should I just keep buying it? So let's see. But those are all my like cooking, hobby, fun list of things to do over the summer. I also want to get back into my pasta making because y'all remember I learned how to make pasta at the beginning of last year, actually. Yes, gosh, isn't it crazy how time flies? Yes. At the beginning of last year, I took that pasta making class. We made pasta a couple times. Then, as we know, the big to-do, boom, and now we're back at a place where I feel like I can start doing like those extra little touches again. So I really would love to be able to make fettuccine noodles because my daughter eats those every single day in her lunchbox. And then I also want to be able to make really good lasagna sheets because I told y'all how good that Barefoot Contessa lasagna was. They have not stopped asking me to make it. I think I have had them ask me no less than 6 times, like, "Can you make that lasagna again? And I'm like, "No, that's not something you asked me to make at school pickup. That's something you asked me to make like the day before you want it." Because number one, I have to go buy all those cheeses. And then number two, like it takes time. And like I need the time. But I would love to be able to make that again, but using fresh pasta. Oh my gosh, I really do feel like I'm starting to get my sea legs back under me and like I'm starting to get my groove back. And how do I know this? We're switching into our our yapping section, by the way. I know this because today when I went to Pilates, it didn't get on my nerves. Now, I know a couple days ago on Instagram, I told y'all about how I went in there and asked some people, how do I cancel my membership? And that's still good information for me to have. I'm going to tuck that info back into my back pocket just in case I change my mind later this year. But this class that I took today was so good that I said, my goodness, now if it's going to be like this every time I come, this I can get behind. This would make me want to come over here every day. I enjoyed myself today. And that's why I think it's just a me thing. And I feel like I shouldn't make big decisions like canceling memberships or getting new memberships or anything like that right now until I kind of get back into a place where I feel more settled and I'm not all over the place. Because I really do think it's me and it's it's really not them. Although that one class did get on my nerves. But I really do think it's like a me thing and I just need to return back to like my regular self before I make big decisions. So I went in the app and I saw what classes are being offered over the summer, especially after the last day of school. And I'm excited about the classes that I saw. I went ahead and signed up for some of them. I went ahead and got on the wait list for some of them. And I'm really hoping that over the summer, I can fall back in love with Pilates because today's class really did like give me that little reminder that like, oh yeah, no girl, you like doing this. Like you actually do enjoy this. Sometimes in the mornings, you're just grumpy. But if you could just push through that to get here, like it's going to be okay. And so I'm working through that. Now, also, this particular school year, I have not had to really do the diner like that. Haven't had to get up early every morning and do all of the things. I've only had to do it if my husband has a meeting in the morning. So I've been like the sub opener for the diner. I think it's going to help me out tremendously for the upcoming school year when I'm back into like the morning rotation because getting up, getting moving, getting dressed, all of that, I think it just puts me in a better mood. While I enjoy sleeping in, which who doesn't, who does not enjoy getting the extra rest, is something about that during the week though that throws me off. And then one would say, well, Tia, if you don't have to get up and like do the kids some mornings, why aren't you getting up and working out? And the answer to that is, girl, because I don't want to. I don't want to wake up and like punch myself in the face with working out. I really just don't want to do that either. So since I know I'm more of like a mid-morning girly, I would much rather wake up and like do the lunch boxes and make the breakfast and make myself a cup of coffee. Like that is a slower, easier like entry into the day for me. And I didn't realize before how much that was actually helpful and like good to me until I didn't have to do it. And so when we start school again in the fall, I will have a greater appreciation for the diner and how it allows me to really start my day off on the right foot. But yeah, girl, if you hear me talking junk about Pilates over on Instagram, just message me and be like, girl, stop, because you know you ain't breaking up with them people. And I will have to write you back and be like, girl, you right. Let me shut up. Let me shut up. I am also, though, trying to figure out what my workout split is going to be because as I'm starting to see results from what I'm doing, I know it's a process, and I know you have to just trust the process, as they say. But while you are going through the motions of the process and you see your body start to morph and change, sometimes it is a little scary because you're like, ooh, am I going to be packing on a lot of muscle? Or is this one of those things where my muscle is starting to show, but I just got to trust that the cardio is going to continue to lean me out? Like, what's happening? Because it really mentally fatigues me and sometimes it makes me want to just quit. And I would just like to state that for the record because I think people think that when you are like heavy into fitness and the food and all of the things, you don't ever get burnt out from it. And I certainly felt burnt out last week. Last week, I definitely hit a wall where I was just like, I wish I was a person that never even thought about any of this stuff because I feel like life would be more enjoyable. I really do. I can understand completely how people live a whole life without thinking about any of this because sometimes it just absolutely sucks. But then you push through that and you're like, oh, but if I want to be a healthy person and live a long life, I should probably keep doing these things so that I don't have to start trying to do them when I'm like 65. You know what I'm saying? So we push through, we push through. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out what my workout split should actually be so that I am getting the results that I want. And I'm really tempted to flip it. Right now, I'm doing a split of like 3 days of strength training, 2 days of Pilates. I do cardio all week long. And then, of course, I sit in the sauna on Fridays, right? And I'm really thinking maybe I should switch it and do Pilates 3 times a week, strength train twice a week, still do my cardio, and then still do the sauna. But I'm thinking over the summer, I might actually flip it and see what kind of results I get from that, because I see the results from the 3-2 daily with the cardio. And it's not that I don't like those results. It's just that I want to make sure I'm not turning into like a muscle mommy, which I also think genetically, I'm probably going to be a muscle mommy no matter what path I take. But I really do think that the way you train certain muscles ultimately determines how pronounced those muscles are, like what they look like on your body. And I do think that Pilates does still give you that more like lean look. Like I don't want to be jacked. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to wear button-up shirts and feel like I can button them because my arms aren't like fighting for their lives in shirts like that, in cute little blouses. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. I did get new running shoes for Mother's Day, and they have made a world of a difference in my cardio game. Let me tell you, every time, every time I try to give Nike the benefit of the doubt, and I say, oh, I'm going to get these, and I'll like them. Those first few runs, maybe those first couple of weeks, I will like them and I'm like, oh, these are okay. I can do these. Like, it's like you're settling. Granted, I'm talking about the Nike Pegasus. I'm not talking about the Vaporfly or any of the new Nikes that have the incredibly thick soles. I have not tried those because those shoes are like somewhere between $220 and $300. And I'm like, ooh, she's just a girl that walks and runs in her neighborhood. She's not running the city down. So I don't know if I need to make that big of a financial commitment for some shoes that I know won't even be any good to me within the next 90 days. I will not do that. I won't do it. But I recognize that I do need shoes that are a step up from these Nike Pegasus, because let me tell you, the first couple of weeks were great. Certainly when I was walking on the treadmill, no problem at all. And I could probably still use those shoes to walk on my treadmill, actually. And that would help me save some of the miles on the new Hokas that I got. But when I would be street running, I would be running and my feet would literally be hurting in real time. I would be able to feel the pain going up the front of my shins in real time. And I knew that there was a better life out there for me. I just needed to go find it. So on the day before Mother's Day, my husband was like, hey, like, let's go look for you some running shoes, because like I told y'all, I had already texted the family group chat with gift ideas. Okay. Running shoes was one of them ideas. And so on Saturday, he was like, let's go out here and find you some running shoes. And I said, okay. So we went to Dick's Sporting Goods and they had a whole Hoka section. I saw these really hot pink, cute running shoes that had a thick bottom on them. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to try these. Gonna try them because they look like they have a nice little sole on them. I always pull up the shoe while I'm in the store. Like I go to the manufacturer's website. So I went to the Hoka site. I pulled the shoe up to see what they say this shoe is for and to see what they claim the shoe was supposed to do. They said that shoe was good for walking and everyday running. And I said, oh, Cookie is shaking himself out. I said, oh, that sounds like me, because she's a walker and she runs almost every day. Not for a long time, but I do try to have a good time. So I will try these. I asked them if they had them in my size. They said, yes, they do. I tried them on and instantly in the store, I said, I knew there was better out here for me. I knew I did not have to be out there with my shins cussing me out mile after mile. I knew it. I knew it. Instantly, my feet felt relief. I said, I don't have to try on another thing. Bag them and tag them. Let's go. We can get out of here. I'm done. And everybody in my family was like, "Are you sure you're done?" Like, "Are you sure you're done? You don't want to look at nothing else?" I said, "Oh no, because the last thing I need to do is buy more workout clothes before I get rid of some of the ones that I already have in here." And see, that's going to be another project for me over the summer. I was talking to a girlfriend like weeks ago about like style, and she was telling me that she has actually hired like a stylist that she's going to work with. I think her appointment is like later on in the year, but she was like, "Yeah, I guess they go through your closet with you like virtually and you try on things and they help you come up with outfits, all of that." And I think all of that sounds wonderful, but before I can do anything, cuz that is also something that I'm working on, is still trying to work through like styling myself. And I think I have recently come across a silhouette that I think is gonna become my uniform. Cookie, what is it? Truly, pull it together. That is, I think is gonna become my silhouette. So I'm like, yeah, now that I'm clear on what I wanna look like, I can start to get rid of stuff. And it's funny, I feel like we're going into a different topic right now, but I'll make sure to come back and close up the Mother's Day thing. I think it's funny how sometimes when you purge your closet, you have all of these emotions to certain things and you feel like, "Oh, I can't get rid of this. Oh, I can't get rid of that." So you keep it. And then months later, you'll be ready to purge your closet again and you don't have those same feelings about those same items. That is always so interesting to me. And right now, I feel like I'm at a place where I'm ready to get rid of a lot of the workout clothes that I have. And I would actually really like to create a capsule wardrobe for working out that consists of maybe 4 pairs of black leggings, right? And then maybe 4 pops of color. I'm thinking a hot pink. I'm thinking some shade of blue, like a really pretty blue, not baby blue, but like a rich blue. I need a rich blue. I need a hot pink. I would like to get something that is a pretty shade of green. I don't know. Sometimes I'm on the fence about green, to be honest with you. And then I think I would like a little yellow, and maybe like a red. And that's it. Maybe 8 to 9 outfits, 8 pairs of leggings, 8 sports bras, and I can get rid of all that other stuff. The only other thing that's going to be hard for me is probably getting rid of random t-shirts. So I also need to just go ahead and start emotionally processing the fact that I don't wear those t-shirts. Some of them are super old, and I need to really get rid of them and make space for the clothes that I'm actually wearing or the clothes that I do plan to wear. But I'm excited. That is another project that I do plan to do over the summer. But back to the running shoes. The very next day, well, not the very next day, because that would have been Mother's Day. And on Mother's Day, I did nothing. I sat here. I talked on the phone when people called, which was a lot of phone calls. I ordered Chinese food and my husband went and got it. I sat here and I grazed on that Chinese food, played on my phone, and watched TV. That was it. Monday, I put on my new running shoes and I went outside to do my cardio. I walked the first mile just to get a feel for the shoes on pavement, like on the sidewalk. And they are a bit more clunky than like a Nike. So I really did have to get used to how they felt on my feet outside. But baby, let me tell you, for mile 2, when I decided to start running, oh, she was a runner. My pace was back into like the 9s and 10s. Not below a 9, like not that fast, but it was back to around like the 9.5, 10.5 mark consistently. And just in case, I felt like that was just a fluke because I was running off of adrenaline and quite possibly all of those Mother's Day carbs. The next day on Tuesday, I was like, oh, let me run again because I really want to test these shoes out before I give people a review of them. The next day, same thing. My pace held steady around like the 10-minute mark. Oh, when I mean to tell you I am in love, I am in love. And what I really love about having a running shoe that does what it's supposed to do and actually supports your feet and supports your legs and all of the things is that when I do choose to get out and run, I can do a really good, strong, powerful run, and it doesn't make me feel as if I have to stress myself out over getting 10,000 steps every single day. I can say to myself now, oh no, if you go out here and you commit to doing 35 minutes of cardio, whatever you end up with at the end of that 35 minutes, like, girl, it's T, like, it's good. You're fine because you just ran much of that. Like, you're good. Be at peace in your mind and let it go. So if you are looking for a new running shoe, look for the Hoka Bondi 9. They come in 8 million different colors if you go on their website. Now, the colorway that I have, I didn't see it on their website, so I'm thinking that was a Dick's Sporting Goods exclusive colorway. So if you're looking for the exact color that I have, you might have to go to Dick's Sporting Goods. But if you don't care about what colorway you get, girl, go on their website because they literally come in 50 million shades. Love those shoes. Probably will get another pair in a different colorway while, while they're selling these, because you know how these companies like to do. As soon as you like something and as soon as you tell other people that you like it and that they should go get it too, they'll stop making it. So I need to go get another pair while they are still making them in that model. Love those shoes. I wasn't going to watch the roast of Kevin Hart because I really don't feel like Kevin has been that funny here lately. But when I kept seeing people talk about it online, I was like, well, I guess, I guess we can sit down and give it a try. Like, I don't know. I was only able to make it through, I'm going to say maybe 45 minutes of it. Before I was like, yeah, no, I'm going to go to bed. And I left my husband to watch the rest because I don't understand how you can call yourself a comedian and be like big in the what is it, stand-up comedy world and make jokes about not knowing who Cheryl Underwood is. And maybe that is just me being, being a Black girl that's been in tune. But I'm like, Cheryl Underwood literally used to be on Comic View. What do you mean you don't know who she is? And if that wasn't enough, then the jokes about what she looks like, the jokes about her husband that has passed away, all of that was too much for me. It was off-putting. It wasn't funny. I didn't like it. It made me uncomfortable. Like, yeah. And I mean, and whenever they would go to her, after people would like make these jokes, the camera would go to her and she would be over there smiling and laughing her way through it. But I'm like, ooh, Cheryl, girl, you are in fact better than me because I wouldn't be able to do it. It's not funny. It's not funny. And the funny thing about that, though, is the fact that the white men that are making these jokes, I'm like, I don't know them. Some of them, this is literally my first time seeing them or hearing them at all. Now, that one that looked the little tangerine, I have seen him online before, but it's never been for anything positive. And to be honest with you, I don't think I even knew he was a stand-up comedian. I think I just thought he was an outspoken MAGA person that just kept, like trending and people would reshare the videos and things like that, which, yeah. So I'm like, y'all are making jokes about not knowing who she is when literally I would not know you if I was standing behind you in line at Kroger. I wouldn't know who is this man. I wouldn't know a thing. I wouldn't. So I didn't like that and I didn't enjoy it. I also really didn't like the jokes about Chelsea Handler, and I'm not the biggest Chelsea Handler fan, but I also really just felt like the jokes about her and her sex life are just overdone. Like, they're overdone. Like, it's not funny anymore. It's not funny. And like she said, she is a rich, attractive white lady, and these are her words, not mine. What else do you think I'm going to be doing? Like, I'm going to be out here in the street because I don't have nothing else to do. Is basically what she said. So, yeah, I mean, I didn't like it. I didn't enjoy it. And while they did roast Kevin a little bit, it seemed like they were there to kind of roast each other just as much. And nothing was off limits, and I didn't like it. I kind of feel like this roast was also done prematurely. I feel like it's so early in Kevin's career that why are we roasting him at this point? Normally, when you have your televised roast, it is later on in your career. It's like when you're about to kind of sit down and call it a day. I also kind of feel like the fact that none of the other comedic greats were there kind of speaks to what they must have felt like that event was going to turn into. And I kind of feel like the people that were sitting in the audience, like when you watched the camera, like pan the audience, you saw Tracy Ellis Ross, you saw Jennifer Lopez, you saw John Stamos, you saw Will Packard. And I wonder if they knew what they were coming to see. Because when you see that it says like a Kevin Hart roast, you're thinking it's going to be like the Tom Brady roast that was also on Netflix, where they come, they talk about Tom Brady, they make him laugh, everybody goes home. This was something completely different, and it had a very, I don't know, it had just a very derogatory undertone to it that was just unbecoming of, I'm going to say, literally anybody. Like, I don't think anyone's roast should be like that nasty. Yeah, so I didn't make it through the whole thing. I have seen people talking about it online. I did not even make it to Regina Hall's segment on there, but I did notice that didn't nobody talk about her. So I don't know what kind of drug deal Kevin has in place behind the scenes. I don't know if Regina was like, what you ain't about to do is get up here and talk about me. I don't know, but she was definitely one of the only people that they did not talk about. Now, a friend of mine brought to my attention that I guess Tiffany Haddish has been saying some things about people not realizing she was at the roast. I definitely saw her sitting like up on the stage off to the side, but the comedians they didn't talk about her or pick on her. So I guess that must mean that they don't respect her as a comedian, because I feel like they only talked about the people they kind of respected. Like they even made jokes about Draymond Green, whose segment I did happen to catch, and I also caught secondhand embarrassment for him. Because, sir, your team should have been like, if you want to go to the roast, that's fine. You getting up here and trying to tell jokes, absolutely not. His part of it wasn't good. The Usher thing to me, because Usher opened it, uh, I could have done without that too. Like, I don't find Usher to be that funny. And even the Lizzo part of it was kind of like, why is Lizzo up here? Like, why? Why? Now, I didn't make it far enough in the Netflix, like, recording of it to see the Cat Williams segment, but I watched that part on TikTok because TikTok is going to do it for me every time. They're going to cut right to the chase. So I did see his full stand-up for the roast on TikTok, and I've got to say, that was probably the best part of the whole thing. I'm probably biased, though, because I love Cat Williams, like, naturally. Like, I always watch all of his stand-ups, but his thing was the funniest, probably because it was the most honest, and I feel like they squashed their beef, at least they did on camera. But I feel like Cat Williams is not done with him yet. I feel like Cat is one of those people who is smart enough to like go along and get along in front of these cameras. But the next time he does a stand-up, I'm pretty sure we're going to hear about this roast, because he was the best part of the entire thing. I don't know what they paid him to come, but they probably should have doubled it and asked him just to roast Kevin Hart for the full hour and 30 minutes, and that would have been some good TV. That I would have watched, because I know that would not have gone to like a nasty left place. Because say what you want to about Cat Williams, but he does operate with a certain level of like dignity about him, and he doesn't tend to like do what he feels is unnecessary. And I like that about him. So, girl, I don't know if you've watched it yet, but I'm here to tell you, you don't have to. Like, don't you worry yourself with it, because it was it was not good. There is this trend going around on TikTok about horror films, and you're supposed to like list like 5 of the scariest things that you feel like could possibly happen to you. If it was a horror film, this is what your horror film would be about. And I thought it would be fun to share 5 of my horror films that in real life, when these things happen to me, I am legit out of my mind. Number one, small talk. Oh my gosh. I feel like people probably don't get this impression about me, but I do not like small talk. I'm actually very socially awkward at first until I get to know people or until I'm just more comfortable with people. But for example, if we go to an event or whatever, I'm probably going to be very very quiet with new people, and I probably will participate in small talk a little bit, and then I'll find a reason to excuse myself because I'm like, "Ooh, yeah, the weather is nice. Oh, yes, I do know so and so, or yes, I did enjoy so and so." But like, oh my gosh, just literally put a fork in my eye. I don't want to have small talk. Big talk or no talk? What about that? Or really fun, natural, like casual talk? Or we just can just shake hands, say hello, and then sit in silence. It's fine with me. It is fine with me. But small talk literally frightens the daylights out of me. Driving at night. I have talked about this so much. Driving at night, anytime I know I'm going to have to, the level of stress, the level of anxiety, like I'm nervous about it from the moment I wake up that morning because I'm thinking about it all day. Like, oh my gosh, this event doesn't start until 8 o'clock. I'm going to have to drive home like at night in the dark. Ooh, with this astigmatism. Ah, gosh, people are going to be out. Their headlights are going to be on. They're going to be blurry even though I have on my glasses. People in Atlanta drive like they are truly in some type of NASCAR race nobody told me about. They're going to be zipping and zapping and going in and out of all the lanes only to take the exit. Like, what are you saying to me right now? Driving at night terrifies me at such a high level that I really do simply try not to do it ever. Pumping gas. This one is probably going to make me seem a little softer than what I should be, but I am here to tell my truth and nothing else. Pumping gas really is my worst nightmare because what do you mean I've got to stop what I'm doing to go sit at a pump, touch it, and then wait for it to fill my car with gas? Like, are you kidding me? I will ride that gas light like it is a pony. I sure will. I know my car so well that I know when it's kind of like, ooh, the gas light is on, and like, ooh, girl, you really need to go get gas. Like, I know the difference. The gas light don't do nothing for me but serve as a reminder that like, ooh, girl, your time is coming, and it's not right now, but eventually you're going to have to make that call. And the call that I'm talking about is the one that I make to my husband that says, ooh, my gas light just came on. When would you like to go pump gas? And since we earn $1 off of every gallon of gas because we are Kroger Boost members, we go, and this is just part of me being smart. You know what I'm saying? I be on my wife game. I'm like, ooh, when do you want to go pump gas so that we can both save $1 a gallon on this gas? Meet me at the gas station. So I pull up to the pump. He pulls up on the other side. He pumps gas for the both of us. I never even have to get out of my car. It's really the best. It's really the best. And it keeps me from living that nightmare of being out and about, living off my vibes and realizing like, oh my gosh, I got to put a pause in my shenanigans to go pump gas. Oh my gosh, I don't want to do it ever. Pumping gas literally could be a horror film for me, especially if I had to do it like every day, like 51st dates. Every day I had to start my day with like pumping gas. Oh my God. And then I had to drive at night and then pump gas again before I came home. Please, I would literally have an addiction to something. Let's follow up that one with my next horror film, which would be paying bills. I don't mind a bill, but I don't like being the one that actually logs on to the website and pays them. I don't mind knowing about a bill. I don't mind knowing about how much the bills cost. What's the number? Give it to me straight. That doesn't bother me. But logging into the actual website and being the person that has to give the money to the people, oh, I can't. I can't do that. Like, get somebody else to do it, which I have somebody else to do it, but get somebody else to do it because that is that's where I draw the line. You can send me the bill. I don't even mind you taking the money. But the actual act of sending it to you, I just got off the phone with my OBGYN office because the last time I was there, I wanted to pay my balance, which was $13. Both of the people that do finance there, they were both on the phone and there was no one else to help me. So the woman came out of an office and she was like, "How can I help you?" And I was like, "Oh, I just want to pay my bill because I normally pay right while I'm in here so that I don't have to worry about anything." And she was like, "Okay." She was like, well, she pulled my account up and she was like, "Oh, well, you only owe us $13 because all I went for was like a lab visit to get my Depo Provera." And so she was like, "Since you only owe $13, girl, don't worry about it. Just call back up here one day when you think about it and you can pay it over the phone." I said, "Okay, girl, no problem." I called back up there today to pay it over the phone, and whoever answered the phone told me my balance was $50. I said, "Oh, no, baby, because the last time I was up there, my balance was $13, and I haven't been up there since that day. So where are these extra things coming from?" And so then she's looking at my account and she was like, "Actually, girl, I don't even understand what I'm reading. So let me do a little bit of research and I'll call you back." And I said, "You do that and call me back." But see, that right there, all of that right there, I feel like Miranda Priestley, bore somebody else with your questions. Bore somebody else. I just want to pay my $13. And this is why I wanted to pay my $13 in person while I was in front of y'all, so that when I'm calling back, I don't have to deal with people and them reading things wrong and not knowing the screen and whatever your new system is about. Girl, that ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm just trying to pay you my $13. That's it. But paying bills, mm-mm, it's not my favorite thing to do. And I'm very thankful that I'm married to someone who literally does not mind logging onto websites and typing in all that stuff and doing it, because it would literally kill my personal vibe. And then lastly, this one is probably not going to come as a shocker, but ever since I have started going back to Pilates, baby, being on the Pilates wait list is not where it's at. I have never had to experience the wait list. And right now, I have to experience the wait list for some of the classes that I want to take. So you join the wait list and you literally have to wait for other people to find something better to do or just say they don't feel like coming. And then they always tell you where you are on the wait list. So like for some classes right now, I'm number one, meaning I just got to wait for one person to drop out. And that normally happens. In some of these classes though, I'm like number two, which means I got to wait for two people to say, "Nah, I'm good. I don't want to come." What I also don't like about the wait list is that if you make it into class, sometimes it is a bit of a short notice. So you want me to plan to come to this class, even though I haven't really been put on the roster for it yet. But like, let's say, for example, if class starts at 3 o'clock, you could make it, which technically people are supposed to cancel their spot in class 12 hours before. If you do it 12 hours after, I think you get hit with a fee or something like that. So they encourage you to do it 12 hours before. Now, do we all do that? No. So technically, it could be like 2 hours before class time and you make it off the wait list. Okay, well, baby, what does that have to do with me? What does that have to do with me? Because 2 hours before class time, a lot has taken place in my life. I have probably either already worked out, or I have plans to do something else, or I have mentally just told myself, "Oh, okay, well, we didn't get into Pilates, so now we about to move on with our day." I don't like speed bumps in my day or in my life for that matter. However, the big to-do taught me to kind of let that go, right? But speed bumps in my day, I really don't like that either. So if I'm cruising through my day and then you give me an alert saying, "Oh, guess what, girl, you actually did get into that 3 o'clock class," and I look at my watch and it's 1:30, I really am thinking to myself, well, let me call you because that ain't got nothing to do with me anymore. Because the me that got on the wait list is not the same me that's getting this alert right now. And so much has happened in my life between now and then. You cannot short notice me. Girl, I got 3 kids and it's the summertime. There's no telling what I might be doing because y'all didn't let me know in enough time that I was put on the roster for class. So I really don't like the wait list. And that has been a very first world suburban Pilates princess problem, but I still don't like it. I don't dislike it enough that I feel like I'm going to cancel my membership anytime soon. Like I told you, that one instructor that I really like her. And on the days that I complain, I know it's just me. So I'm working on that. I'm working on trying to figure out why my mood is so moody. Now, I know some people will say because you're in your 40s and you just don't play like that no more. And I feel like some of that is true. But I also feel like, the first surgery that I initially had with the whole cyst on my ovary thing, they had to take that ovary. And I know that that has to have something to do with your hormones. Like, I'm like, are my hormones imbalanced now? So some days I'm just kind of bitchy, but that's really new to me. I've never been like a bitchy girl. Like, and I don't even know how people are naturally that way. Sometimes people are naturally that way. And then sometimes I think people just be trying on being a bitch for size just to see how it feels and how it goes. And I'm just here to tell most people that it's never cute. If you are naturally bitchy, like, girl, work on letting that go. Nobody likes that. And how I know that is because on the days where I feel like I'm just not in a good mood and I'm like short tempered or like just kind of just kind of mean, I recognize in myself that's the self reflection that I also have that I'm grateful for. But I recognize in myself, like, oh, girl, you just need to go somewhere and sit by yourself. Like, you just need to remove yourself from being around other people because you can't be nice right now. And everything is getting on your nerves. And because I recognize that, I'm trying to work on it so that it doesn't impact things like me and my Pilates practice that I know for a fact I actually do love. I'm just trying to get back to the place where I love it just as much as I used to. And I feel like today showed me that it's possible and that it's there. I just need to figure out how to get to that point regularly, because I used to be that girl that I loved everything, not just Pilates, but I used to be a girl that really didn't have an attitude, like, ever. I'm pretty consistent. I would say people that have known me for a very long time know me for being like a nice, sweet, like, girl. That is not to say that I'm never mean or I won't check somebody. But that's just to say that I can tell now on my moody kind of mean days, it catches people off guard. Like, they're not ready. Like, they don't know that version of me. And to be honest with you, I don't want that version of me to be like the new me. I would like to be the me that's talking to you right now, like, all the time. But when that other me shows up, I don't know what that's about. And I really do think it has something to do with them taking my ovary. I don't know. I need to read into that and see. Or somebody, if you are listening to this and you down an ovary, girl, message me and tell me if it affected your mood in any way. I think my common sense is telling me, like, yeah, when they take your ovary, it does do something to your hormones, which obviously is going to affect your mood. I just haven't done the reading to know like the specifics behind it, and I probably should do that. Yeah, I think I will. I'll do a little reading on that before I call you back next time. Also, just for some housekeeping. I know I always refer to our podcast episodes as like me calling you. I think I'm going to switch it. And moving forward, I think I'm going to do a play on words of us sitting down at the table yapping, because I feel like that matches better. And girl, it just makes more sense. So that's housekeeping number one. Housekeeping number two is, y'all know, when these kids get out of school for the summer, I tend to take a break with the podcast. I don't know when the break is going to start, but I know over the summer I'm going to take a break and then I'll come back when they go back to school. So there's that. But the break isn't about to start. I will let you know when the break is going to start, but it's not like after this or anything like that. And then one other thing that I wanted to talk about, no, two other things I want to talk about before we go. One, and I was supposed to talk about this during the Kevin Hart thing. Did him and his wife break up? Like, did she file for divorce? Or is that just like a rumor? Is that like an alleged thing? So that, I need to look into that, because I find that to be interesting on a very high level. If she filed for divorce for him, and I do want to talk about that. If that's the case, I just got to figure out if that's a yes or no. She was at that roast, by the way. And then lastly, because someone messaged me about Real Housewives of Atlanta, and I think people want me to keep talking about it. Like I told y'all last week, I'm committed to seeing it through. Now, in this most recent episode, they are in Dallas. Angela and Pinky go at it at the table, and Angela reads that girl down. I'm having the hardest time trying to figure out who Pinky really is. Like, she comes across kind of now she is exactly what I was just talking about. You can tell she is naturally mean. Like when she wakes up in the morning and she sees all of her personalities laying before her, she picks the mean one. Like she picks that one, and that is the one that she presents to the world, or at least on this show, that is the one that she is presenting to the world. Really, that whole episode was about the fact that Shamia and Kelly were staying in a room that they claimed was so dirty and it was so beneath them, and they kept trying to drag Cynthia for it. And because Cynthia don't play that and she's so much older than them, she was like, listen, now, I done told y'all, I done called the people, they're coming to clean your room, don't say nothing else to me about it. She really did have to like mom them real quick, and they sat there and they shut up and they sipped on their drinks. When they got back from the little outing, their rooms were clean and everybody was happy. On one of these episodes, K. Michelle was like, I don't want to film because I didn't have glam and everybody else has glam. And da-da-da. But she was still on camera. So I really didn't. Like, she didn't come to dinner because she didn't have glam, but she was still on camera. And I didn't, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But so far, the biggest storyline of the season really does seem to be basically Pinky going through this bankruptcy and Pinky and Angela kind of going back and forth, which I hope they kind of nip that in the bud because that's just not fun to watch. And at this point, I think this show isn't really doing anything for Pinky as a businesswoman because she's coming off as somebody that's not likable. I don't know how that's going to bode for her in her next business venture. So, yeah. And then also at the restaurant, they go and they sit down. Now, they are in Texas. They go, they sit down, they're ordering food. Pinky gets upset because they're like, oh, well, they didn't pick a place that had any vegan options or like whatever. So she orders French fries. And I'm like, well, now I know I heard that server say something about a salad. You're a vegan. Why didn't you just order the salad? Like if you felt like there was nothing on the menu you wanted to eat. And I know they're at a barbecue place, so I know they got sides. Like I know it's probably a green bean or some broccoli. Like I know for a fact there's at least one vegetable. Now you might have to ask, did you cook this in chicken broth? Is this fried in beef tallow? Like you might have to ask questions. But there is something. There was something there other than French fries that you could have ordered. I know this to be a fact. As someone who lived and I served 6 long years in Texas, I have been to many a barbecue restaurant, and they have vegetables. They do. So, and they also have salads. It might be a little rinky-dink house salad with just some leafy greens and a tomato and a cucumber, girl, but they got something. They got something. So people have been chatting online about whether or not she is actually like a real vegan. And somebody made a good point that I had not thought about until I read it online, that her husband, for people who don't know this, her husband is the owner of Dave's, like the big cheesesteak franchise chain. I don't know. I don't know if we call that a franchise or a chain because I don't know if it's outside of Atlanta. But here in Atlanta, they're very popular and people really do love them. And, you know, her husband, she even says on the show, her husband has a coin. When she told him about that bankruptcy and he was like, baby, how much money do you need to like make all of this right? And so you can get back right again. She was like, oh, baby, I would need $5 million. And he was like, say less, I will give it to you. And that made me sit up on my couch. Because I'm thinking, no brainer, she's going to take the money. Because she's been hemming and hawing about this bankruptcy, sweating bullets about telling him. You finally tell him and he offers to just give you the money. And she was like, no, I can't take it. You work so hard and you're so successful. Like, I'm not going to do that, blah, 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 blah. So I don't know. I don't know, but that has been what the show has been about up until this point. We really haven't seen much about Portia. We really haven't seen much about Cynthia. We really haven't seen much about Kelly. And I want to say the only other thing about Kelly, she did get into a fight with Portia when they were on the Sprinter van going somewhere. And did Kelly say one of them accused one of them of sleeping with a married man? And people online seem to think that one of the things that Kelly brought up was something about Portia and R. Kelly. I don't know. Let's just say that's all alleged. But people online are like, yeah, that's what that's about. And apparently, Portia has a memoir where she talks about that. So people aren't just making it up. They're like, no, it's in Portia's book. So I think Kelly brought that up, and that's what, like, naturally, that got Portia really upset. And then I think Portia accused Kelly of sleeping with a married man. Or maybe it was the other way around. But either way, they got to fighting back and forth about that. And one of them was about to name whoever it was. And Phaedra was like, don't do that. Like, don't say his name. And she claims she did it to protect the man's wife. So maybe it's somebody that they all know. I don't know. It's kind of messy. Is kind of not as bad as some of the seasons of Housewives, I think, have been in the past with like the OG cast, because they used to read each other down. These girls really aren't good at reads, so the fights really don't get that bad. But, I'm going to keep watching it, and I will keep filling y'all in on whether or not, if you're looking for something to binge watch on any given day, I'll let you know if this is one that you can binge watch. And I think that's it. Girl, I'm about to change clothes, go get my baby from school. Then I have to go to Costco later on this evening to do some water hauls. We need all the paper goods. We need toilet paper. We need paper towels. Whatever else Costco tells me that I need, which right now I'm thinking that I need salmon. I'm thinking I have I have been wanting some cheesecake. I should have got it for Mother's Day, but I didn't, and I didn't say anything to anybody else about it. I really want some cheesecake. I really do. So I might get one of those. But see, the thing is, when you get it from Costco, they're so huge. You almost need to split that cheesecake with somebody else. Like, I don't want a whole cheesecake, and we live too far away from the Cheesecake Factory for me to just get one slice. Now, there is a bakery out here that makes really good cheesecake, but she also isn't like so close to me that you know, it's something that I can like grab while I'm out today. I would have to go way out of my way to go get cheesecake for her. And to be honest, because she is a self-ran bakery, she closes, I think she closes in time to like get her own kids home from school, which is so smart. But yeah, I don't even think she's open anymore today. So yeah, I'm gonna have to think about how I can make that cheesecake come into my life. What is today? Thursday? It's almost the weekend. Maybe I can grab something from somewhere over the weekend when I have more time. Anyway, girl, it was so good catching up with you. Thank you for coming to my table. If you're not following me on Instagram over at Tia's Table Podcast, please do follow me over there, because that is where I share all of the food and the things that I talk about here. If you would like to follow my fitness journey, that is over at Tia V Fitness on Instagram. I am also on TikTok at Tia V Fitness, and I share all of the foolishness, the fun things, random videos, and things like that over there. Feel free to message me about anything that I have talked about today. Remember, when you're out, compliment a woman, say something nice to her, make her day, make her smile, bring her some type of joy. Don't compete, don't compare, don't complain. What God has for you is for you, and never knock another woman's hustle. And remember, if you're in Georgia, girl, go vote on the 19th. If you don't do nothing else, please go do that. I will talk to you again real soon, girl. Love you. Bye.